What's going on, YouTube? Thanks for tuning into the channel. Welcome to So Simplified, coming to you with a video here about why half-stepping gets you nothing. So, as always, coming from my own personal life here, told you I'm gonna keep it transparent. But why does half-stepping get you nothing? So I've been half-stepping in my life, can't lie. And what do I mean by half-stepping? You're not taking the full step. You're not going all in. You're not going full force into what you need to do. So the first thing is having one foot in, one foot out. And why this is a problem. You know, number one reason why it's a problem is it's a very anxious way to live. That you're like kind of not sure. You're not sure where you're gonna go. If you ever watched anybody walk, the times when people trip the most or stutter the most is when they're hesitating, when they're not sure which step they're going to do. But a confident walk is taking one step and the next step. It's not a half step. It's not a little pussyfoot, as some people like to say. So it's a very anxious way to live. You don't really know what you're doing. You're kind of caught up in being pulled in multiple directions. And it's also not only is it like an anxious way to live, it's not a happy way to live. Like it doesn't feel happy when you feel like you need to be in two different places and you're only in one. You kind of have to make the choice. And the next point I'm going to get to is literally has the word choice in it, and it's called the paradox of choice. And what the paradox of choice is basically the more options you have, the harder it is to actually make a decision. You sit in a level of indecision. There was a book on it. Basically, the study was like in supermarkets that it was harder for people to make choices of like what cereal to buy when you have all these different cereals here. Whereas if you just know you wanted cereal and there's one or two brands to pick from, it wouldn't be as difficult for you to make a choice. And there have been studies that it leads to less happiness. That's why you see a lot of times, a lot of books that are coming out now are like about limiting distractions, kind of muting the noise outside, because this is a very common occurrence that people have. And why does having one choice or being locked into a decision make you more happy? Now that is because you don't have the competing options. You don't have to think about what to choose from, and you also don't get FOMO, fear of missing out. People don't know that by now. Basically, you don't feel like I could have chosen a better option. There's a better option out there for me. At some point, you gotta make a decision and gotta decide that you're gonna do that. And that's kind of one of the things that happens to me, is that I'm always like, well, what if I do this and what if I do that? And then I think about it and it's like, bro, you didn't do anything. So really, what was all that thinking about? Because nothing got accomplished. So that's really kind of the main idea of the paradox of choice, and why half-stepping gets you nothing, because basically you're not at the destination. You didn't take a step to get to the destination. You're not even where you started. So you're just like, you're in purgatory. You're in limbo. Now you feel stupid because you don't know if you made the right choice, and you really didn't even make a choice yet. So that's the second point on the paradox of choice. The first one is that you can't be one foot in and one foot out. And the third point is more of a question to you. How have you gotten most of the things in your life, or the best things in your life, or the best rewards in your life? I know for me, it happens in two ways. Now, when it comes to like my physical body, obviously you guys can see me, I'm in decent shape. I'm in pretty good shape. That I've always been, well, not always, but once I started back up around 22, which is about 7 years at this point, I've been consistent. So, slow and steady wins the race. I think that's the best way. But if I'm very honest about how I've gotten a lot of things which I'm not as proud of, which I'm trying to kind of make more into a consistency, it's been through spurts. Like, I will do something for a month, 2 months, 3 months, work really hard at it to get to this goal, and then I kind of like dwindle off. I don't completely fall off, but I don't completely stay at that level of intensity, or like super close to that level of intensity to keep it consistent moving through. But what I did do in those spurts was I was all in for those spurts. Whether it was a test for a class, whether it was a job interview, whether it was a specific deal, I'm making the calls, I'm doing the follow-up, I'm studying for the test. I'm spending literally 6 hours straight just studying, just putting in the hours. So whenever I've gotten anything I've really wanted, I have not half-stepped. I took a full step. Now maybe I didn't keep walking, and I could have been a little bit further down the road if I kept it moving, but I did take a full step for that particular endeavor. And what I've learned in just life in general, half stepping gets you nowhere. And you know, those spurts also, just be a little bit critical on myself as well, they don't get you to your full potential. What you want is, you need a steady stream of like 70 to 80% average, you know, throughout every day of the week. Now you could have some days you're at 100 and some days you're at 50, but you know, you're keeping that 70 and 80% going on. Because what I would do is generally, like, if we keep it in the week time frame, is I'll go 100 3 days and then like 0 or 5% the rest of the days. And then when you average that together, let's do 8 so I can make it a little easier for my mind. You know, you average that together, you got 3 out of 8. So that's about what, 37.5%? That math, boy. But basically, that's the main point of this video, is that half stepping's got you nothing. It hasn't got me shit. And you know, a lot with some of the endeavors I had for this particular year, we're only 3 months in. You got enough time to salvage it. But I know I've been half stepping on a lot of different things, and putting them in place, but I haven't been, you know, taking that full step to really make certain things happen. And I think for me, I'm kind of running up into a crisis, because I'm about to be 30. And you know, there's certain things you want for yourself at 30. Not that I haven't been successful in all the areas of my life to a certain extent, but I'm always just competing with my potential and what I know I'm capable or able to do. And you know, I got to take the full steps toward that. And that's the same thing I invite you to be doing. But that's it for this one. If you like the content, like, comment, subscribe. If you fuck with the vibe, welcome to the tribe. And until next time, you know what it is. Peace.